Hi lovelies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Ike Adeze. This video is about pregnancy loss. Alright, we got married January 5th, 2022. One of the things that actually delayed my taking in was because I did not know how to calculate my ovulation date. Yeah, so and one of the reasons why is because while growing up, I never thought it was necessary. Even when it was in medical school, I did not also take it seriously in school, so I just ignored it a lot. Then secondly was because I did not have a stable ovulation and menstruation period cycle, because then in school I see my period twice in a month, so they always warn you and tell you, since you are seeing twice in a month, it means you're going to give birth to twins, you give birth to multiple. So, and I've always been a fan of multiple, twins, multiple. If God even gives me, with great joy, I'm going to accept and collect. Yeah, so these are the reasons why. So I actually thought once you just get married, have sex, you just get pregnant.
So they play.
It doesn't matter when you actually have sex. Once you just have sex, you actually get pregnant. So that was the mistake I was making. Yeah, so after some months into being married, and I did not take in, so this was when I had to now search Google and actually found that, okay, fine, this is how you calculate your date, and I took it seriously. So firstly, I reached out to a doctor in my church, and I told her my cycle is not actually stable. How would I get to calculate it? So she told me what to do. So I related to my husband, and we actually did. I calculated it well. So after we did what she told us to do, I took in, but I did not know I was pregnant. Yeah, I remember one of the symptoms I had was, there was a day I was cooking in the kitchen and I was standing and sleeping, which is so unusual. I don't fall asleep while standing. It was so deep. Then secondly, I actually saw my implantation bleeding. For this implantation bleeding comes for some persons. For some persons it doesn't come, but mine actually showed. And it was actually clear, and my spirit told me, yes, this is implantation bleeding. But because of the previous months, and because before I see my period for the month, I spot. So this was what confused me. I was I don't even want to raise my hopes high. I just said, okay, fine, this is pregnancy. So this is not pregnancy rather. So I just removed my mind. That same month, I applied for NYSC, not knowing I was pregnant. And this is why you need to follow your spirit. Whatever your spirit is telling, just follow. Not I did not want to go for NYC, but not that early. So I was so troubled. I had no peace about that journey. I seriously had no peace, and I had the option of actually just registering and coming back home, but I insisted I wanted to stay in camp, and actually nobody actually stopped me. You get, I just wanted to have the experience of NYC camp. I didn't want it to be you got married, you don't want to socialize anymore, you're not doing married women gang. Yeah, so I went to camp pregnant without knowing. Every activity that went on in the camp, starting from the march past to every other thing, I actually took part in. I was so stressed. I was under the sun daily, going through all the stress, not knowing I was pregnant, but I knew I was always falling asleep more than usual. I was always tired. I was feeling heavier than normal, but I actually thought it was probably due to change of environment. Not even the camp is comfortable, not I love Nigeria excessively. What actually took me there, I don't even know. Yeah, so I was pregnant in camp, and I did not actually know. So, and the mosquitoes in the camp were so much. Even with the nets, they'll still sometimes find their way in and still bite you. So I got bitten a whole lot in camp. And I remember being in camp, and when I'm about to see my period, I either have pimples on the left or right cheek. But in camp, I actually had pimples here. I don't know whether the people decided to change location, and it was actually very right. Yeah, so I actually thought it was period. So because I had symptoms of malaria, I went to the clinic and they gave me malaria drugs, and I took without asking questions. New time mom now. I did not know all these things. I did not know that there are drugs for pregnant women. There are also drugs for non-pregnant women. I did not also know if you are expecting, you are not actually supposed to take malaria drugs anyhow. You're supposed to ask questions or do a pregnancy test. Me, I just took because I saw the pimple already, so I thought, it's period. So I just took the drugs without asking any form of question. So prior to that time, feeling weak and all these symptoms again in the camp, I continued taking the malaria drugs. Immediately I started spotting. Yeah, so I was like, the period has already come, because the pimple is like a signal telling me, okay, period is actually on its way. Yeah, so I actually took the drugs and started spotting. I was like, period is here again, not knowing I was pregnant. So at some point I got tired of camp. Even my best friend called me one day and she was like, "Nay, what are you doing in camp? You left your comfortable house, comfortable bed, and you're here and the bump mosquitoes are biting you." So I had a rethink. So I got tired, and again I feel NYC is overhyped. They hype that place so much, but that place is full of stress. There's nothing fun about NYC camp. Yeah, so I called my husband. I said, okay, come and pick me. I stayed in camp 1 week and some days. Meanwhile, I was supposed to stay for 3 weeks. So he came. I remember the day he saw me, he was like, your mates and go to camp to lose weight. You actually came here and you're adding up. And we both laughed about it. We didn't know it was actually like pregnancy. So I go home, I called the doctor, I told her, okay, see, I'm actually menstruating. And she said, okay, it's not an issue, let's get ovulation kit so we can track it and be more accurate in our calculation. So I called the doctor, I told her that I was already menstruating. So she told me, let's get ovulation kit so we get the accurate time. So I went, I got ovulation kit. I come back, I said from my sister-in-law's office. So she now said, okay, I should give the ovulation kit, let's read the manual, see if we can try it out. So just, when was the last time you saw your period? I said, this is where the problem is. I cannot say I saw my period this time, because my period is actually very, very heavy. So, but I'll see today, I'll not see tomorrow. Today, I'll not see tomorrow. She now said, nah, are you sure you're not pregnant?
Never spelled it.
I was like, because she said might not be true. Because I don't want to raise anybody's hope high. Because the past month, I think I'm pregnant. I don't have to be that. So I'm just secretly do the test. If it's negative, fine. To make it at the office, I secretly went to get a trip. I came back home. I did the test. Pregnant. The job was so you know, praying about. I told them, I went to love and then test you because actually I didn't see this is reaction in the next video.
I said I know what's not the talk. I sure what's not the talk. Never a bastard. Idiot. I don't come Mr. Matrix is scared there, so he could.
We're all excited. My mom told my friends, everybody was so happy, told my husband, everybody was so happy. My husband was like, hope he's not telling people. In my head, I just told people that like really mattered to me. I told them. So which might not necessarily be an issue and also for persons. So actually keep this good yourselves for some time, but this should be maybe an agreement between you and your partner. Yeah, because for my son's own, we didn't actually tell anybody till I was, I think, 4 to 6 months gone. Yeah, so everybody was so excited, but guys, I was still spotting. So what's in the situation? Okay, while I was still spotting, after I found out I was pregnant, one early morning, I was rushed to the hospital. Yeah. And my doctor wasn't on seat, it was another doctor. So I guess they woke him up because it was actually 3 a.m. He came in all frowning. Who wouldn't be frowning as in at that time? Yeah. So he actually scanned me, and the next thing I heard is, that is one thing with you new time moms. They tell you, make you get pregnant, come in and scan, come in and scan. You guys will not scan. You stay at home. When there's an issue, that's when people run to the doctor. See, one has gone. If you like, don't pray. The other one might still go. And I was like, wow.
I know you now. I give you a dirty slap. What do you want? Why are you saying
like imagine you being scared because you are spotting. Because it's actually a sign of threatening miscarriage, and you're going to the hospital and the doctor is telling you all this. They actually saw 2 sacs. In one, there was fetus, in the other one, there was no fetus. So what he told us is, go and pray that that one that's remaining will stay. It was actually very, very wrong of him. Even if he woke up at that time, like I did not deserve to be told that kind of a thing. I mean, like I was already vulnerable at that point. So we go home, we kept on praying. All of a sudden, I felt sick. We got to the hospital, we tested, I had malaria plus. So I was like, okay, probably because of the camp, the mosquitoes that beat me there was just so much. And because I'm pregnant, they cannot just give me malaria drugs, so they placed me on Palota injection. Please don't take Palota injection. This is my experience. Speak with your healthcare provider before you take anything during pregnancy. So they placed me on Palota injection. I got better. They said stay in net, blah blah blah, just preventive measures, which I did. A few weeks down the line, I got sick again, and this time it was so much. Like I was running temperature to the extent that the bed, if you're staying beside me, you can feel the heat, the hotness. My husband rushed me to the hospital early as of that morning. I was admitted immediately. They placed me on drip. They said, one, I'm dehydrated. You know, when you're pregnant, you need to be taking lots and lots of water, but because of metallic taste I was suffering from, I could not take water. They placed me on drip. Their goal was just to get me hydrated. 20 drinks, I think it was saline water they gave me also. So just for me to get hydrated, one. And this time they tested and I was suffering from malaria plus. Where all these sicknesses were coming from, I don't know. If you even ask me what caused the miscarriage, I don't even tell you this is this. I don't know whether it's the stress from camp. I don't know whether it's the first malaria drugs I took. I don't even know whether it's the treatment of malaria plus and malaria plus. And prior to this time, my dad already called me and said he dreamt where I died. So what my dad was, well, I don't think my dad wasn't aware that I was pregnant. I don't know, I think he suspected because just my mom I told them, you know, women to women stuff. Yeah. So I was admitted in the hospital. The spot, they were trying to control the spotting to make sure the baby is fine. Then one of the nurses told me, with the way I'm treating malaria back to back, that the probability of the last one surviving is very slim. But we kept our hopes high. We came back home. Guys, threatening miscarriage is not what you should pray even for your enemies to suffer from. The pain is something else. It's like the restlessness that comes. I remember one night, my husband lay down in the parlor. The pain was so much, so much. Like I could not sleep, he could not sleep. I was still spotting. I think that night, maybe I was able to sleep off and I woke up. It moved from spotting to, let me say, a bigger quantity of blood stain, but not so much, but a bigger quantity of blood stain. Maybe I called my doctor. He said come to the hospital. Maybe we got to the hospital because before now he had been giving us two weeks appointment just to monitor. He didn't want to make final judgments. Do you get? But the babies weren't forming well at this time because there's how they measure the baby's head. The measurement should tarry with the week or the trimester you are in. For instance, if you're in third trimester, there's a measurement of the head that must match with the trimester you're currently in. But in my case, I was 3 months gone, or 2 weeks to being 3 months gone, and the baby was looking 1 month gone. And according to the scan, the date was dropping, which is not a good sign. So that morning, he looked at my husband and said, "Sir, I see you. The babies are not forming well. We have to go in for evacuation." To be continued in the next video. Please, if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. You can actually do it now, please. Just tap on the like button, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, share my videos, and see you in the next video.